Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday. I'd say it's the only day that really matters simply because we are about to embark on a journey to learn the very best program in the known and unknown universe in Logic Pro. My name is Eddie Gray. I'm about to show you how to utilize the piano roll editor in a way that you never really knew how or why. And when you discover this incredible information, you will be that much better for it. All right, so let's get right into it. You ready? Here we go. Happy Tuesday, y'all. What's up? How you doing? Let's go. You ready? All right. All right, my good friends. We are back at it again. I told you I was going to be here, right? Not the same time as always, but we are always here regardless of what time it is. Well, let me tell you about what we're going to do right now. Let me tell you about what time it is right now. We have to review what we covered last time around. As you may have remembered, we left off on a kind of cliffhanger where the user guide here gave us this incredible resource, but didn't really explain the how or the why. And so good old Eddie Gray's got your back, right? I'm your corner, man. And I want to make sure that you have everything that you need. So what I did was I sat with this and I ruminated and I just, I let it simmer and I just tried to figure out all the ins and outs. And guys, I got about 95% of what this bad boy does. So courtesy of hfmusicacademy.com, we are proud to present to you the Logic user guide and tutorial. All right, we're going to get right into it. Let me just do one thing with my audio, and we will jump right in. All right. So again, we're talking about this incredible feature, copy MIDI events. When you have some free time, go ahead and enter this in a Google search or YouTube and see what you can find out there. You're not going to find much, simply because there isn't much information to pull. So again, I spent some time with this and it is really remarkable. Now we're going to look at some of the pop-up modes, okay? And then I'll do my best to explain to you what they do, how they do, what they do when they do. So the only thing that I really couldn't get just off the bat was rotate and direct swap. So that's the only one. But other than that, I pretty much got everything else. Okay. So for example, copy merge. The copy data is blended with anything that's present at the destination position. Now remember, the way that this is built up, the way that this works is you have the modes up here. Okay. And then after the modes, you have the locators and what you're trying to select by way of MIDI. So let's say you have a harmonic progression here, then you would select between bar 2 and bar 5. And then where are we going to paste this information? Where is the destination? And that can be found there. Finally, how many times, right? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to start with a simple one just to get my head wrapped up around this. And I didn't even try out this create new region feature, which we'll have to try out in a second here. All right. So we are in Logic. We just make sure everything is set up the way it needs to be set up. I believe you can still hear me even if I don't do that, but I just want to make sure. So checking sound, very good. All right, everything is translating on my end. I will reduce the master just to make sure our ears are solid. All right, and so then now I'm going to resize the piano roll, okay? And I'll get a little bit of a better view by using the pinch gesture. I'll open up this program so you can see the key commands associated. Okay. And right now, we are looking between bar 1, bar 2, and then we have this extra information at bar 2 here. All right. So in between bar 1 and 2, we've got this drum part. Take a listen. Okay, and then we have basically a tom and a hi-hat. Okay, so let's check this out. When I go into edit, copy MIDI events, this is when we get that running dialogue. You could also set up a key command. In fact, why don't we just do it now since we're going to do this so many times? Well, it's not going to work that way. Let's go into it here, copy MIDI events, and which one should I choose? I think I'll just go with F1. So learn by key label. Actually, I'll do this one. Nope, not that one. Hold on. This one. No, not that one. Nope, not that one. Okay, here we go. F5 is already associated with the region inspector. I'm just going to replace it for now. I can change this a little bit later. Okay, so then copy MIDI events, now associated with a key command, F5 in my case. Why did I do that? Honestly, it's just convenient. All right, so then let's go back to the modes, very top, copy merge. What this is going to do is it's going to take the information from here, and the destination is bar 2. So let's go ahead and set that up. Okay. And it's basically just going to bring the information over to bar 2. Well, hold on. Just make sure this is okay. So we're here. We're selecting all the information from bar 1. We open up the copy MIDI events dialog window, and then I want one copy. I want it to merge at bar 2. Let's see what this does. Okay, so it took all the information between bar 1 and bar 2, and it literally copied it over, but it didn't replace anything. It just merged it with the tom and the hi-hat. So that's the first thing to take note of, okay? That's probably the most applicable, but I can also see a place for copy replace. You no longer need the information at bar 2, so what is going to happen? Well, naturally, we're going to replace that information with the information that's inside of the cycle locators, or the left and the right locator. So that makes sense. Let's Command Z that. Bring it back here. So we now know how to copy and merge all together. Replace. What is copy insert? Well, naturally, we're going to move the information that's at bar 2 right now. If I could give you a quick illustration right here, you see this? This will move over, and then, of course, this information at bar 1 will follow suit. So let's go ahead and copy insert. So what happened here? We copied the information between bar 1 and 2. We placed it in between bar 2 and 3, and the information that was previously on bar 2 has now been shifted over to bar 3. We were able to handle that with ease utilizing copy MIDI events in copy insert mode. So you could see the value here as a beginner or a seasoned veteran. It doesn't matter how long you've been using the program. There's always something else to learn. Move, merge. What is move, merge? Well, it's kind of hard to tell at this point because we've kind of taken care of what we would think of naturally as all the possibilities. But let's try this out, okay? All right. So then what it's going to do is just going to move everything over. Why couldn't I just hit, that and then just do that? Well, you could, but that's just another way to do it. And in all fairness, it was pretty quick. It was just one, move, merge, boom. So there will be some usage in this for me, for sure. So something that I'm going to do is just associate it to a key command so I always remember. I usually have project notes that remind me of key commands that I'm looking to utilize in my next session. Just always growing, always evolving, right? And always keeping my frequency high, for sure. Yep, that's right. Okay, so what else we got? Now we know how to move. Understood. Now bear in mind, I'm keeping this really simple. I could move this to bar 3. Let's try that really quick. So I'm going to lift this up, and now we're in bar 3. So the destination is in bar 3. So let's go ahead and move this information. Ready? Move. All right, cool. So now that went from bar 1 to bar 3. So you can see the ease of use here, right? I don't need to sell this to you. You can see that, wow, once I learn it, once I figure out what it does and how to use it, it's going to be a bad boy, okay? So then now, what is move replace? Kind of hard to tell again because we've done everything that I could potentially conceive of in my mind. What else? Move, replace. It's going to, well, hold on. That's not the full picture. I should move this over. Okay, let's do that one more time. Move, replace. Boom. Okay. So it just deleted the information, right? And so I guess copy, replace did the same thing, didn't it? No, I'm sorry. That copied and then replaced, whereas this one literally just replaces. So that is the difference. Copy, insert, moves it over, right? And then this one is just going to replace the information. I'll tell you, I wish these names were just a little bit easier in terms of their practicality. And so, once I have the position I want to have with Logic, the product manager, what's going to happen is I'm going to simplify the language a lot. I think that's going to be something that I put in the suggestion box. Okay, so move, replace, just literally going to take over. What's move, insert? Okay, move, insert. I'm assuming, yeah, it's just going to move everything over. So these are all different things that we've been able to accomplish really with not a lot of effort, right? It looks like it adheres to the snap to grid mode, so everything's on the grid and neat, which I love. All right, so this is the one that I had trouble kind of comprehending because they seem the same to me, but remove, just to cover this quickly, is simply going to remove the information that is inside the left and the right locator, such as this. Boom. Okay, now it didn't just move, did it? It also brought the information in bar 2 over to bar 1, right? So it wasn't as simple as just replacing. It was replace and shuffle left as well. Okay, so we're going to go back here to try and understand what else is going on here, because we have the copy modes, and then we have these move modes. So they all work similar to copy, but we're actually moving the selected events, removing them from their original position. So if you're looking to copy the information, use this. If you're looking to move some information, then you would want to use this. Why would I use rotate? Why would I use direct swap? Rotate. The source events are moved to the destination position. The data that was previously there, right? The destination position and the data that falls between the source and the destination positions are all moved toward the source positions. This rotates the data around a central pivot point. Okay, so obviously what's going to happen is this stuff is going to end up on this side, and this stuff is going to end up on this side. That's easy, but then when I get into swap, it's like I'm not seeing how this all adds up. And again, part of it is just due to a lack of information. So let's go ahead and try this out. We're going to go into rotate. All right. So as stated, pretty basic, right? Just swaps it over, right? Not that complicated. All right. Let's see if we get anything else from direct swap. Exchanges the source data with the data of the same length starting at the target position. This allows you to swap the notes in bar 1 of a 4-bar Midi region with the notes in bar 3. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. So with that being said, maybe I can get something going here. So I'm going to do this, but here I'll change an octave. Let's just do it like way down so I can really see the difference. So here's the first and here's the second, okay? All right, so then theoretically, based on what we just read, by using direct swap, I can take the information here, and by changing the destination to bar 3, we can do something different. I don't know if it's going to work, but let's try it. 1, 2, 3, boom. Okay, so what happened? Nope. Whoa. Okay, wait a minute. It took all the information and quite literally brought it over here. So in fact, I should do this. Okay, this is going to help kind of understanding what just occurred there. So let's do this one more time. One MIDI region now. Before I had two, so it was a little weird to see. Direct swap. Here we go. And now I don't see what I was trying to see. So yeah, this to me is the same thing that would happen if you were rotating. Oh, wait a minute. That looks different. Nope, yeah, that's certainly different. So what is going on here? Okay, swap is easier to understand, so let's just do that really quick. I think we got it, guys. I think we cracked the code. So swapping is literally going to take the information from here and exchange it with whatever the equivalent length is. So from bar 3 to 4, right, we're exchanging back and forth. So that makes sense. For example, if the MIDI notes were a little higher, let's try this again. We're here with swap. Boom. See how it's literally just exchanging the information? So I'll hit that, right, just back and forth. Okay, swap, easy to understand, in my opinion. Let's go into rotate. I think this has less to do with it being like a mirror image, you know, like back and forth. So let's look at this. Bear in mind these are closer together, and then these are farther apart. So let's try this one more time. Oh, okay. So it changed the order of everything. I'm just trying to understand exactly how it's doing it. This is gonna help me do that. All right, because I think what's going on is literally it's changing it, like it's bringing the end to the beginning and the beginning to the end. And I'll find out right now when I delete this and I turn this on one more time. So if you see these notes at the very beginning and then these notes at the very end, then of course it is, oh, not exactly. Okay, so I wonder why that is. Let me try one last thing. I'm going to do my destination to bar 4 because I think that's affecting its behavior, which would make sense, to be honest. But here, let's try it. Okay, whoa. So now, yeah, what was in the beginning, this is now in the middle, and this is the end. So, yeah, this is the only one I'm not exactly clear on. But to be honest, I really just think it's just it's not a ding. It's just a lack of information on my part, right? I'm not getting anything else. You know, we're just getting. This allows you to swap the notes. Oh wait, that's not the one I have a problem with. It's this one. They're moved to the destination position. The data that was previously at the destination position, the data that falls between the sources are all moved toward the source. So yeah, all this language sometimes feel, it's, you know, not the easiest to register. So I'll try this one last time. We're rotating, and we'll go like that. Yeah, so I'm not exactly clear on how that works. I'm sure there is something there, but we got everything else. So yeah, really incredible feature, copy MIDI events. It will be a part of my personal workflow for sure. All right, hope you're enjoying the content. Look, 30 minutes just to simply review something that we were doing the last time around. If you don't call that commitment, I don't know what is. But look, I love you guys. I want you to win. Okay, I want to look back during this time, during, you know, these unprecedented times, and I want to be able to say I got something out of it, you know, and I want you to say I got something out of it. Man, that guy was on point 6 days a week, nonstop. He was bringing it every single day, right? So thankful. HF Music Academy is the best, right? Positive reviews, all that good stuff. All right. So now we're going to get into the rest of chapter 10. Can you believe that? Chapter 10? Is that nuts? We've just been going through this week in, week out, and we will continue until the very end. Okay? All right. So I've got a session up and running. I want to get into how we can change the pitch in the piano roll. All right? Why would you want to do this? Well, let's say you wanted to transpose a song so it's higher or lower in register. Maybe you want to harmonize a melodic line. This can be accomplished. When you drag a note, its current position and pitch are shown in the help tag. And I've been really pushing this, right, so that you can really understand every facet of the program. The deviation from the starting pitch is shown in semitones at the bottom left of the help tag. The starting pitch appears in the info display, the piano roll. And this was actually a really interesting part of the program as well that I didn't know about. At the bottom left of the help tag, when I start to look at Midi, so when I click and hold something, we get that pitch information there, right? And then to the right of that, what are we looking at? But how much we're raising it up relative to its original position. So, you know, 1 semitone, 2 semitones. So that's a really nice little feature. And I've been looking at this program for 7 years. You would think that my eyes would have caught that, right? Subconsciously, I'm sure I did. But it's not until, you know, somebody points it out, right? It's not until you're in the right state of mind, the bandwidth is there, and then all of a sudden, oh, you know, you see it. It's clear. It's clear as day. All right. So look, we've done a lot of this stuff. I am not going to give you any more fluff. All right. You guys, you know, have matured and grown during this whole process. So I'm just going to give you the real deal information. We know how to drag notes up and down in the piano roll. That's all basic stuff. Give me something interesting. What else can we do? Well, if you double click the MIDI in button or option click the MIDI in button, it looks like there's some more information that we can work on. Okay, well, let's try it. What does this MIDI in button do? Okay, so I'm going to option click it, MIDI in. Cool. All right, looks on to me. Nice. Just trying to see if there's any changes, right? Because they're saying if you double click, it is not engaged. So hold on, let me do this and then option click it. Okay, so it looks like something is happening with the, okay. Man, I wish I could show you this, but the animation is changing a little bit. So we can either option click it from here, or you can turn it on and then option click. So the animation changes color. And what this is going to do is what? Select one or more notes, play a note in your musical typing or music keyboard. I don't know if something was supposed to come up, but I could see that some type of animation has changed within that MIDI in button, but literally there's nothing, there's no other information. Okay, so that does not help, but it's cool. Let's investigate this a little bit further. I'm gonna do this with my bass. Got a bass here. Okay, so let me see. Bar 9, no MIDI events, and bring the playhead over to bar 9. Okay, I'm going to turn on MIDI out so I can listen to the parts, and then let me option click here and see if there's anything that's different. So I don't see any new MIDI data. Normally when I would hit that, I would see it, but I tried out the feature that I just read in the user guide. But let's just click it one time without doing the extra steps, and let's see if this works. Okay, so this is working. So I'm not sure what this does then, right? There's no indication of what it's for. I am typing my music keyboard. Maybe I'll type in musical typing, but changing the pitch of notes. Okay, I see. Maybe it's this. Here, let's try this out. So I've got this one here, right? I've selected this music note. I'm going to option click this. The animation changes, and then I can change the pitch of this. Okay, that's pretty sweet. Is that worded that way? Okay, let's see. Double click the MIDI button if it's not engaged. The MIDI button changes to a white outline. Yes, they made that clear. In fact, I should highlight that. Select one or more notes. Okay, they did. All right, I just didn't see that. So that's a really cool feature, and they didn't mention that when we were going over the step input keyboard. So if you're somebody that can't really put together notes, I should show you this. I think this is valuable. Let's pull up some nice strings. Let's do something like let's do contact. Pull up some really nice string sounds, and let's see if we can find an application for this. See, what I'm thinking is you're playing out some kind of chord progression, and then maybe you need to experiment, or I don't know, you don't want to rush it, right? You don't just want to play anything. You really want to get something that sounds magical. This could be a unique opportunity to do just that. So why don't we just do Ethereal Earth? All right, let me just see what this sounds like. Yeah, I will take it. Okay, drop down the volume a little bit. So I'm at bar 9, create a MIDI region, because this is my canvas, so to speak. Okay, and then what I'm going to do here is turn on MIDI out. Okay, if you want to access this immediately, you would double click this, or while it's active, option click it. But for now, let's just do that. And so then what I'll do here is just hit a quick chord. So now let's say you wanted to change something. I'm going to option click that, and I'll select that note right there, and then maybe experiment with the placement. Then I would listen to that back. See if we can get this going. Like, nah, I want to change that note. Let's see what that sounds like. Like, nah, a little higher. So this is very hands off. If you're somebody that does not like to get into the nitty gritty with your hands and the trackpad and the mouse and the Bluetooth keyboard you don't have to. Really, really nice feature that they provided. I select all three of these and I am in this kind of special mode. What happens? It will just convert to one. But what if I hit a chord? So that is the one thing. It looks like it's strictly monophonic, which makes sense, right? Because how can you move the chords otherwise? So again, one last time, turn on MIDI in, hit a chord. There's the chord there. We want to change this one. We're just not sure about it. Then we option click here for MIDI in, and now I'm using the keyboard or musical typing keyboard. I can move the position of it. Nah, I don't like that sound. Let's try this. Let's try this rather. Then you would try that out. So that is pretty sweet. I really have to hand it to Logic. That's really amazing. Here we go. Let's try this one out. So that was on me there because I didn't really see the writing on the wall. But really cool. Really, really nice feature here. I'm going to highlight this whole thing. I love it. I knew I fell in love with this program. Been 7 years now. Many moons ago. Just such a phenomenal program, guys. I'm so in love with it. Even more now after reading all the manuals, right? Going over every single workbook that you can think of, watching every single video that you can think of from reputable sources. Notice that I didn't just watch anything. You got to be careful with what you watch out there. Be picky. Start being picky with what you watch. All right. Let's go. Lots of cover. What page are we on? Hey, Johnny. Yep. All right. 398. Thank you. Cool. All right. So look, resizing notes. Talk about resizing notes. We could do it with what? The pointer finger or pencil tool. Notes can be resized from either start using these tools here. With the pencil tool, we know that we click and hold. I believe there was a key command as well from what I remember. T, P, And so if I click on this, for example, if I just drag to the right, will it continue on? No, it will be moved. But if I hit, let me hit Midi out, turn this off. No, there was something. No. It's not happening. But there was a key command last. I don't really use the pencil tool, all right, just to be transparent. But there is something that you could use, and it would literally just start dragging it over. Don't remember what it is right now. Let's see if it tells us. Maybe it does. All right, so we can also use a number of commands inside of edit, trim. There's a lot of stuff there. There's some really cool features to double the length or to curtail the length by half. Really nice. In relation to notes surrounding or overlapping, this is all very useful. All right, for tidying up the start and end points of notes. So let's go ahead. Let's conquer this. You ready? Let's go. Let's go. All right. So we're going to drag either the left or right edge. The most obvious, utilizing the pointer tool. All right. Let's keep moving. It can sometimes be difficult to grab the edge. You can use the finger tool, which will allow you to grab notes anywhere to alter their length or zoom in for a closer view. The finger tool. Did you know about that? I'm not sure you did. I'm not sure you did. I got to be honest. Come on, keep it real. Did you really? Finger tool. All right, let's see. Grab it. How about that? How about, I didn't know you could do that in Logic. That's pretty cool. Is there a way to zoom into this? I understand that you can lengthen, but what about the zooming capabilities? They did mention zooming. Lengthening is really easy here, man. 7 years. I don't think I've used this once. You gotta love it. It's beautiful. Okay, I do wonder if it adheres to the snap to grid. So let's check it out. Does it? It absolutely does. And that's a beautiful thing. You want to know why? Look at this little thing. See how minuscule this is? That would be impossible. Impossible to try and resize with the other guy. But here, boop, right, not too bad. Right, you can just hover closely, get close there, and there you go. We're home free. So, yeah, about zooming. I don't understand what's up with that zooming thing. I'm sure it's there. Maybe I have to hold command or something. Option. Oh, well, but that's just normal behavior, right? Just holding option. That brings up the zoom tool. So yeah, don't have time to just, sit on this. We need more information though. So I'm going to strike this through. It's not a ding. We don't have the information. All right. Resize multiple nodes. All right. If we have several nodes selected, we can create a kind of batch edit. Okay. The relative differences between the lengths of the selected nodes are maintained. So you see how these 3 nodes all have a different length, right? They all have various lengths. So what I'm going to do now is select these by just hitting Command A. Of course, we could just click, hold, and drag. And because I'm in ticks, this will maintain the offset. So they're all getting longer despite their differences. Okay. Now check this out though. If my snap to grid is set, what occurs then? They all move according to the snap to grid. Now, there is something that I want to throw out there at some point. And there's actually a way to make this uniform, which we'll get into in a little bit here. There you go. Okay, but we'll talk about it. Okay, so let's see. Resizing, just talked about that. Setting the same endpoint. Press and hold shift while altering the length of the selected nodes. So as soon as I hold shift, Command A. So as you're resizing, boom. So that's the ticket right there. This is why it's important that you watch Eddie Gray, Resources from the Modern Creator. This is why it's important that you sub and share the information. All right, I'm noticing everything's multiplying. It's all exponential because of you, not because of me. I've showed up the same way, the same time, every single time now, right? The time is now. and I've showed up and I've given you this incredible information, but it's growing because of you, and I have you to thank. So I really appreciate it. Seriously, right? These aren't just words. Sincerely appreciate it. Thank you for the share. Thank you for the like. Thank you for hitting the notification bell. And thank you for subbing. All right. So again, I had MIDI notes at various lengths. My snap to grid, my good friends, set to bar in this case, okay? You know, sometimes you're like, oh, I want to go all the way to the right, but it doesn't really fit. And then you have to fix these notes. Those days are over, all right? Because all we have to do now is hold shift, and boom, I got you. See, this is why you're here, all right? Now we know how to do this. It's a beautiful thing, and I need to save that. That's just a wonderful thing to remember there. All right, let's go. Make selected notes the same length. Option shift while dragging one of several selected notes. Wow. So check that out. I can have, wait, what's the difference between these two? Press and hold shift while altering the length of one of the selected notes. Press and hold. Okay, let's just try it, and then I will come back and option shift. Well, I need a different offset. Okay, cool. We're here. And then option shift. Is that not the same as before? That may be a game changer. I just didn't see it. Hold on. Your shift. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, that looks exactly the same to me. I'm not sure what the difference is. Set the same endpoint. I did that. While altering the length. Yep, I did that. Make selected notes the same length. Option shift. I did that while dragging one of several selected notes. Okay, I don't see it. I'll try one last time. We're going division. Let's just do a different here. Okay, maybe if I do by itself. No, that's not relevant. Okay, Command A, select that guy. Option shift. Boom. Okay, but the thing is that would have happened if I would have just hit shift. So what's the difference? Come on, I need something, guys. There's something here. Man, I would love to know what it is. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't it be great? Right? What if it made the difference between, 5 tracks getting done this week or 2? What if it made the difference between you saving 20 minutes in the next week? Right? We need to get this information down. I'm going to strike it because not because it's a thing, but simply because we don't have enough information. I would love to know what that does. Right? Yeah, we know that it's the same length, but so was the last thing. So what is the difference? Okay, let's keep going. Set the start or end point of notes to the playhead position. Let's go. So check this out. If the playhead is at, let's call it bar 10, there's a way to move everything over. So we're going to set region start to playhead position. Okay, so set region start to playhead position. And this is a key command. And so let's check out what it is. Is this the one that is colon? Set region. Hold on. Set region to playhead position. So it looks like that's command and then that bracket. Okay, so let's just try this out. So command, and then we're going this way. Oh, yes. Let's go. Are you serious? Nice. So we want to move and create the same length. Look at that. Boom, just like that. That's beautiful. That is wonderful. Same goes for the opposite, by the way. Say all of this was kosher. We wanted to bring it back. Command, back, bracket key. That's sweet. Ooh, thank you. Yes, I will take it. Absolutely. Let's go. Highlight. That's beautiful. I'm collecting gems over here, guys. Next level. Okay, remove note. Oh, and by the way, there's another one that's really nice too. Just a quickie for you. So let's say you wanted all this information to go to the end of hold on. That, and then was it delete? No. That no. Okay. I think it's, yeah, something like force right here. This guy. Trim note end, force legato. And that should work nicely. What's going on? Maybe let me just do this. Or is it the other one? Maybe it's this one. Anyway, there's some more functionality there as well that we can utilize. We'll do one more. If not, we'll keep going. No. Okay. Anyway, the one we just learned was easy, right? Command forward bracket just brings it over. But it's going to bring it over to the playhead. That's why I was trying to suggest this other one, but because it will bring it to the end of the region, but I'm having some technical difficulties over here. But it is nice if you can get it to go. But I'm sure we will cover it. So it's coming. Okay. So that is nice. Removing note overlaps. All right, so this is important. Let's create an offset again. Okay, let's see how we can get this to work for us. We have in the edit menu a couple of different features here. We can remove overlaps with the selected, remove overlaps with adjacent or next to, and then with repeated. So let's start with remove overlaps with selected. So I suppose I'll choose these two and go into the edit menu, go into trim, and we're going to remove overlaps with the selected. So then we get this dialog window. Do we get some information on what this does? No, of course. Okay, so and actually we covered this before in another video, but essentially this is going to determine kind of what happens with this. So if we shorten, you can see that nothing happened. Again, if we go to edit, trim, what happens if we delete? Well, it'll delete the note that is the longest. Let's see if we get any other behavior here. Edit. What else we got? Trim. Here. Keep. All right, nothing there. All right, so that's the first. What else happens here if we go into trim? Note to remove overlaps with adjacent. What happens here? Yeah, so this is not very clear as well. Wish there was some more information with this. I'll try a couple more times. If not, we will need to get the info first. So let's see. We're gonna trim. Here's what we were doing before, and here were those other commands I was trying to show you. So note to remove overlaps with adjacent. Okay, so that's how that one works. So if you have something and you want to cut out the top, so like maybe if I bring this one up. Okay, let's see how this behaves. Edit, trim, note to remove overlaps with adjacent. Here we go. You get that window. Boom. So you hit backslash, says, hey, what do you want to do here? I want to shorten these so that they are behind that one now. Okay, so that's that. Let's determine its behavior with some of this other stuff. If we delete, what happens then? It's going to delete, but I didn't understand like how and why, right? There's not a lot of information there. All right, what if we keep? All right, so that was it the same thing that shorten does? Yeah. So anyway, there must be a better methodology to teach this, kind of like how I showed you copy MIDI events, right? We had all that information in front of us, and it's super clear to understand. So stay tuned. I'm going to take a picture of this, and we will cover this ad nauseum tomorrow. We'll make sure that it's a little neater and just easier to understand. All right. So it looks like we could also make notes legato. And we could do that in the same sub menu. There's some great stuff. You can note start to playhead, note end to playhead, note end to selected notes. And so this is a lot easier to understand. So let's go playhead as a bar 10. Okay. And selecting these two notes, edit, trim. And I'm saying, hey, well, we already did this, so that's not that. We moved the start of the note to the playhead. Now, what's interesting is it you know, created the notes, but it made them very small. Did you see that? Right? Now this one in the bottom is going to just bring everything over, but that first one was interesting. It's like, yeah, it brought the beginning there. I wonder why I did it with the just small note. Well, anyway, that's that. Edit, trim. There's a couple more here. So this one, note end to selected notes force legato. So from what I remember, we want this one to be as long as this one per se. So again, go into that menu. Let's see, note trim here. Okay, so then when it's almost like you want one of the notes to catch up to another one in terms of its length, and that could have been a chord, which seems really relevant. Like let's say we had a basic triad or something, and this is kind of the next part of the sequence, and we want them to be equally as long. Then again, we could go in here and probably set this to a key command in advance, obviously, but go to trim, and then we say, and we set the end of the note to the selected notes. Now, I believe that these would have to be highlighted as well in order to have this function. Well, let me show you what I mean. Edit. And I held shift to create that dual selection. And so then I'll hit that. And so then I'll shorten. And you can see that everything just kind of was lengthened by itself. I could have, it's true, done this. Right? That's one way to do it. I could have also moved the playhead there, done that, and then hit command forward bracket. That would have done it too. Probably a little easier, but you got options. That's the whole point. So there is one more. Edit, trim. And this one is forcing legato. Note end to the following note, regardless of what I've selected. Just take it to the next note over. So check this out. We're going to hit that, and boom, it just brought it over. So that's why I like that one personally, because it just takes it there without me having to determine what the selected note is. And these are also inside the contextual menu, by the way. See how it says right here, trim the note end to the selected, right? That's when you're actually physically choosing which note you want it to extend to. But in most cases, I just use this, shift backslash, and it works quite well. Boom, it just kind of shifts everything over. So if I delete it, that doesn't really make sense. Why would I do that? And I would love to know a little bit more of like the why behind it. But anyway, that is the functionality. Is this stuff is moving over to the MIDI events that are next, so to speak. So that's a really, really cool feature. I like that a lot. Note start to playhead, note end to playhead, note end to selected note, and then note end to following note. Okay, let's cover the sustain pedal, and then we'll take a little word from our sponsors. Choose functions. Convert sustain pedal to note length in the piano roll. So that's really interesting. You can take the sustain pedal and determine the length of the notes. So why don't I just do that for fun? I'll select sustain. I haven't played anything in, obviously, but I'm going to just draw this in. And then I guess I'll drop it here. Let me just create a couple of these, and then this one I will drop here. All right. Let's see how this pans out. Okay. So where do we find this? Functions. Convert sustain pedal to note length. Boom. So that made a lot of sense where it brought this over. But what about, oh, these notes wouldn't apply, right? Because I turned off the sustain. Well, what if the sustain was on the whole time? Let's try it. Functions. Convert sustain to okay, it's just doing these. Why aren't these involved? Maybe because it's lower. Nah, that doesn't even make sense. You would think that it would just move everything over right away. I'll try it one last time. And I will kill this at bar 13. Then I want to go to 0 there. Good. Oh, not 1, but 0. Did it do it? Yes. All right. Let's try this one last time. Okay, so then now everything moved over. So I guess it just needed to be a higher valley. And you can see that as soon as I did crush the sustain, in this case, there is no more sustain information because it just converted, right? So it just depends on what we're talking about here. All right, editing velocity in the piano roll. When we come back from a word from our sponsors. Okay. Hope you are feeling awesome. It is Tuesday, y'all. Let's go. All right. Let's come back here. Boom. Yes, let's go. All right. Wow. So much to learn, so much to do, so much to be. Guys, hold on, let me figure this out. You guys know that just this morning, HF Music Academy, we sold 8 songs. 8 songs. Great cash value to a publisher. Obviously, I woke up with that news. I was absolutely elated. Some of our students got paid. I'm super happy about that. And I just wanted to share the news that it's possible. There are people that are making moves, right? Bumping into the shoulders of other people that are working. And that's all it really is, just a chance encounter with people that have opportunities. And one day you'll get yours, sooner rather than later. But just make sure you have the right information. This is why you're here, obviously. So let's keep the party going. If you have any questions, hit me up. And of course, as always, support at hfmusicacademy.com is here to support you so that you can win and get paid for your music too. Let's get right into it. We're going to edit velocity in the piano roll editor. You ready? All right, let's go. Guys, we're looking at velocity. We were just looking at Midi. There was some, funky stuff in so far as the remove note overlaps. But to be honest, I think it was mostly because of the layout that I had. So I'm going to go ahead and try that out at some point again. I just want it to be simple. That's always my main thing, is as simple as humanly possible. So let's get into it. Each note in the piano roll editor displays a horizontal line. So we have high velocity at a value of 127, and then that's red, hot, right, orange. It goes up, right? It starts burning. And then a velocity of 0 is cooler, blue, purple, right? It starts to chill out a bit. Velocity can also control other synthesizer parameters. So this is interesting because it just depends on how it's mapped out. You could do it with resonance cutoff alone or in conjunction with volume. And it can also be set up this way if you're a synth geek. So it just depends on how you want to set this up. You can also display velocity using different colors. All right. So how do we do this? We want to go into the view menu, set no color by velocity from the piano roll editor menu. When this is chosen, higher velocity notes appear in warmer or hotter colors and lower velocity in cooler or colder colors. Color coding makes it easy to see the velocity of individual notes and to see the overall range of velocities in a MIDI region. So this is very, very, very important, okay? You want to set this to view, set no color by velocity. If you have this set to region color, then depending on the color of the region itself, in this case green, this will be all green. Now, when is this advantageous? When you have something that is MIDI that is another color, and so then when I go into the piano roll, I can clearly see that which is the green region. So let's say those were strings, and then the blue ones, the blue MIDI events can be drums or bass guitars or whatever, right? So that's useful in terms of arranging and getting clear on all the various parts, right? Let's say you have some kind of string arrangement and you want everything to blend perfectly and you want to see it in your screen and you want it to be immediate, then you would make these adjustments. Otherwise, by velocity is the way to go because now I can really look at the MIDI data and understand exactly what's happening here because cooler colors are light blues, right? In fact, we'll just show you a quick demonstration. It starts off looking like that, okay? And that's a velocity value of 1. And of course, now we go into blue. What is that? Turquoise, yellow, green, and then finally red at 127. So easy enough to understand. Let's keep it moving. If you want to change the velocity values, well, use the velocity slider, that's for sure, just as I did before. You can also use velocity. There's a tool literally dedicated for just this. There's also a fantastic keyboard modifier you can access. Did you know that? Control Command. It's beautiful. It's lovely. You got to try it, right? So 1, 2, 3. What else you got from me, Logic? All right. Apparently, the help tag also displays velocity. If the MIDI out button is active, the note sounds as you drag. So you're not hearing anything now, but if I turn this on, my good friends, listen to this. You're hearing the velocity and how it's affecting this specific synth. If I had a drum, which I'm going to instantiate now, set up. I want to use the Logic one though, so let me go over here. Drum Kit Designer. Because of the way that it's sampled, we're going to hear something very interesting. So let's just go here. Okay, snare is great. So let's go all the way to the bottom, right? Control, Command. See how soft that is? So soft, barely playing it. So this has more to do with volume really, but theoretically dynamics and how hard. Then the higher I go, now I start hearing pressure, right? So the harder you hit something, it has a different timbre of sorts, different sound. Again. At some point it becomes just volume, but then, he's playing it very softly, or she. And that doesn't apply to, something like this. Here it's just strictly volume. Now you're controlling, theoretically, the volume of each and every note, but this only pertains to synths, because when it comes to a deeply sampled piano or drums, then it gets into dynamics and how they were expressing themselves. How are they playing the keys? And that's a different art form of sampling altogether. So when you edit the velocity of multiple notes, the relative differences in their velocity values are retained. So this is true and tried in all the program when it comes to length, when it comes to velocity, when it comes to pitch. If you make a change and there's an overall offset, Logic will honor it. It'll say, yes, I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to make a big change. You selected various events. I will cover you. I understand, right? Now, something you should understand, if the velocity values of that which is selected reaches the minimum or the maximum, none of the notes can be adjusted further. So that's it, right? You have officially met the threshold. So if I hit Command A, and you can see that there's clearly an offset. In fact, let me show you an even greater. Okay, an even greater offset. This one here is all the way down, right? All the way down. And you know how we found the length by holding Shift? Well, inside here in the velocity slider, you hold Option. And then now this becomes uniform. Rewind it and do it again, and you'll see what I mean. It was a beautiful thing. All right, so then we're looking at this, and I hit Command A. Because there's an offset, as soon as I drag to the right, there will be a limit to it because, right, I already have a really high value in this note here. It's already at 127, and this one's all the way down to 17. So even if I drag to the right, I can't go any past 127. And so look, there's a limit. You see how it says 17? You can't move past it. Now, it would be nice if they actually had a lock here, because it lets me move, so that's a little bit elusive. But you know what I'm saying. It won't go past it because of the offset. You want to override this behavior, my good friends? As I mentioned, hold Option. All right. Let's edit the velocity of notes using music. Oh, again. Wow. Here we go. Here we go. Another way to edit velocity. Wow. Play a note. Velocity of the selected notes changes to that. Okay. So, do you remember that trick I just showed you earlier today? It actually works for velocity as well. I hadn't taken note of that. Okay, I'm just gonna be real. Okay, but if you Option click right here, or wait, I'm sorry, double click right here, you can see that insignia looks a little different than it usually does. And let me hit this really soft, okay, just like barely tapping my keyboard. Do anything? Oh, wait a minute. There has to be a chord in here to begin with. Here we go. Okay. So we're here, right? And then I want to change that note right there. Well, again, I Option click that. And let me hit this really hard. Watch your ears. Wow. So it's also not just the note itself, my good friends, but its velocity is being captured at the same time. This is money. I like it. Assign the same velocity value to selected notes. All right, if you press and hold Option Shift while dragging one of the notes with the velocity tool, then everything becomes uniform. Option Shift, you ready? Okay, so I'm using the velocity tool, and then I'm holding Option and Shift. Oh, wait, maybe I should do it this way just to, yeah, okay. So I'm moving this up and down, and maybe I need to do that. And then Option Shift, here we go. Oh, it makes everything uniform. So that would be the equivalent of me holding Option here, and then everything just becomes uniform. One more thing I want to see, because I was trying to do that while accessing the keyboard modifier. I'm just curious if it'll honor, hold on. It would be like this, and then if I hold Shift and Option, does it do it? Yes, it does. Okay, wow. So that is a handful in terms of being able to get your hands around it. So what did I do? Okay, let's take a second. I hit Command A. I selected all the notes. I would like them to be uniform in terms of their velocity values. Of course, we can go over here, but let's just try it here. So I'm going to hit Control, hit Command. I now have access to the velocity tool. And so then when I change the value, there's an offset. We know that. But if I then hold Shift and Option at the same time while I'm creating the movement or the adjustment, then they will become uniform. You ready? Here we go. So boom, uniform. So that's pretty sweet. I do like that. Good. Page 401. Jeez. I do have a mix to do. Let me see what we have to learn here. And, I think honestly, yeah, we're going to do this next time. But I will tell you what. We're going to just quickly cover that which we started with, okay? And then I believe that I got it covered now. Kind of wrapped my head around it, and I think this is going to be the move. So check this out. It all has to do with length, okay? So let's just say this one is like this. Okay, good. Okay. So now check this out. I'm going to hit Command A. I'm going to hit Edit. And we go to Trim. We say, Note to remove overlaps with selected. So if I shorten, theoretically, the top and bottom MIDI notes should be shortened as well. Let's try it. Oh. Okay. So they did to the beginning of this one. Okay, so that makes sense. Kind of. I wish it was a little, like, just easier, right? There has to be, like, 1 or 2 moves. Okay, but let's try that again. Note to remove overlaps with selected. This time we're going to delete. Will it delete those 2 notes? Well, it just deleted 1. So it's really hard to tell the behavior of this. I really thought it had, if I selected all these various notes, various lengths, they would fix it. That did the same thing as before. So that is not necessarily helping any. Note to remove. Okay, this one I think is pretty basic. Note to remove overlaps with adjacent. No. Okay, I'm gonna spend some time with it. I thought it was gonna be a little easier than that. But yeah, we need more information. That's kind of been the theme here. So look, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. We're going to really get into quantizing the timing, right? If you've never really been clear about how to use the quantization menu, but this is inside of the piano roll, so we want to make sure that there's maybe some hidden gems in here that we didn't learn when we were covering the region inspector. Okay, looks like we started talking about the articulations in the piano roll editor, which there is a video on that if you want to check that out as well. And then finally we would cover lock positions. So if you're interested in that and much more, I suggest you sub and hit the notification bell, because when I go on, I definitely want to see you there, my good friends. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your commitment. It does not go unseen. This is not in vain. I champion you. I want you to win. It really is a day in and day out effort. I'm telling you, I've been doing this for the last couple years and been crushing it. I'm telling you. Just closed another deal today. I'm helping other people do it now, and I want to see you win. It's a pretty basic formula, because when you win, I win. So go ahead and keep doing what you're doing. Apply that which you learned today, and I will certainly catch you tomorrow. Thank you for everything. On behalf of everybody at hfmusicacademy.com, I just want to say thank you very much. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep learning. Let's keep growing. And let's keep our frequency high. Let's go! Let's go, baby. Let's go. Cool. Thank you. I'll see you later.